Pastor Edemadom here. We give God praise. We thank God for your lives. Bless you for joining us. We are looking at the original intent of God in prayer. So you look at the first man, Adam. When God placed him in the garden, did God intend for him to pray? Yes. So what sort of prayer? The only result we saw was that Adam was able to name all the animals rightly. It wasn't just naming. He had knowledge of the DNA or of the construct of every animal. So, in effect, it means that Adam only fellowship with God to have knowledge. That is prayer. So, the original intention, Adam didn't ask for provision, he didn't ask for protection before the fall. He didn't pray against the devil, he didn't even know there was somebody called devil. He didn't even pray asking for forgiveness of sins because all he knew was that he would communicate with God. He wasn't looking at his surrounding and himself. He had fellowship with God, spoke with God, conversations with God, and he had knowledge. And then in that knowledge, he lived according to the knowledge. He was naked and he didn't even know. He wasn't bothered. That meant that he was not conscious of himself. But after the fall, the Bible says their eyes opened, the eyes of their soul, because physically they had eyes, spiritually they were connected to God. The eyes of their soul opened after eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that is symbolic of their conscience opened. So it wasn't a tree. Their conscience is symbolic of your consciousness, knowing what is good from evil. So they began to know, they began to have what we call self-consciousness. Look around me. What do I need? What do I want? So the first thing they did was that we have sinned and we are guilty. So let's hide from God. And then two, they also did something. They saw fit to cover themselves. And God asked, who told you you were naked? Look at Luke chapter 18, verse 10. Two men went up to the temple to pray. Two men. One a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. God, I thank you that I am not like the other man. The Pharisee prayed this way. And the Pharisee is the spirit of religion. So Jesus wants us to be careful, to beware of the doctrine of the Pharisee. Don't pray like a religious person. Thank God I am not like that other man. So religiously, religion is when you think you are better than others. When you are self-righteous, you think your performance is giving you marks, is scoring credit before God, and you condemn others. Not the spirit of the Pharisee, that's religion. And that is what Adam and Eve didn't have before the fall. After the fall, they were looking at themselves now. So they approached God in another way, hiding, thinking they needed to be clean to come. I am not like the other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even the friend, the other one, this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithe of all that I possess. And the tax collector, so the other one came, standing afar off, would not so much raise his eyes to heaven. He wasn't putting on a show to score marks, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house, justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. So in the Old Testament, fasting is synonymous to what? Humility. If you humble yourself and pray, and he himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. What is this? So the tax collector came before Jesus naked. He didn't hide anything. This is me, God. This is who I am. have weakness in this area, and I will not rely on my strength. I will not try to cover it. I am naked before you. God, this is me, and have mercy. I am not self-righteous. I am not self-seeking. I know I need help. So God help me. That's how you pray. So you don't come hiding some things and presenting yourself as a good person. No. So Adam and Eve were naked and they came. Now they wanted to cover their nakedness before they approach God. That's the difference between the before the fall and after the fall. Don't pray like a religious person. Pray like a son talking to a father. And that even in your weakness, you approach your father and come naked. Don't be self-conscious. Don't look at yourself. You look up. When the eyes of Adam and Eve opened, now they began to look within instead of looking upwards. This is Pastor Edemadom, and God bless you.